They say dropping out of college is a mistake, a fast track to failure, a sign you couldn't cut it. Most people would call you a quitter, maybe even a future nobody. But then came this guy, who didn't just drop out of Harvard. He rewrote the definition of success. Bill Gates went from a code-obsessed teen in Seattle to co-founding Microsoft at just 19. And by 31, he became the youngest self-made billionaire in history. Not rich, not lucky, unstoppably strategic. For years, he didn't just top the Forbes list, he owned it. Today, with a net worth hovering around $130 billion, Gates doesn't live like the rest of us. His lifestyle isn't just comfortable, it's legendary. But here's the real question. What does a man with that much money actually do with it? Private jets, high-tech mansions, Da Vinci's personal notebook, horse palaces, underwater music pools? Sure, that's part of it. But is it all luxury? Or is there something deeper behind the spending? Something strategic, symbolic, maybe even controversial? Let's take a closer look at how Bill Gates turned dropout doubts into world-dominating moves. $1 billion at a time. While most of us hunt for seat sales or survive on pretzels in the economy, Gates, he flies in silence. Above it all, in every way. 2 Gulfstream G650 ERs, $70 million each. Beds, meeting rooms, speeds that rewrite time zones, and 2 Bombardier Challengers, just in case. No security lines, no delays. He is just a digital emperor cruising 40,000 feet above the world he once helped wire. But here's the twist. Mr. Climate Crisis owns a personal air fleet. Necessary convenience? Or hypocrisy with altitude? Most people argue with their thermostat. Gates? He built a house that argues back, and still does exactly what he wants. Welcome to Xanadu 2.0. Not a mansion, but a 66,000 square foot brain disguised as a home. You walk in wearing a sensor pin. The walls recognize you. The art changes. The temperature adapts. The music follows you like a loyal assistant. There's a pool that plays sound underwater. A dome-shaped library for thinking. A secret server room for data. And a trampoline room, 2 stories tall, just because he can. This isn't just smart home tech. This is a man designing his own private operating system with marble floors and biometric lighting. So ask yourself, is Xanadu 2.0 just real estate? Or the physical proof that Gates doesn't just live in the future, he programs it? This isn't just luxury, this is a living, breathing monument to what happens when a software engineer builds his dream. Not on a whiteboard, but in marble, glass, and fiber optics. For most people, a smart home means Alexa can dim the lights. For Bill Gates, it means the entire house becomes a customizable, immersive environment, tailored to each guest, curated like an app, and smarter than most office buildings. So the real question is Xanadu 2.0 just a home? Or is it proof that with enough money, you don't just live in the future, you program it? And Gates, he's not just living in it, he owns it. While most people rent their homes or stretch their budget to afford a modest mortgage, Gates collects land like trading cards. He owns a $43 million oceanfront estate in Del Mar, California, a property with sweeping sea views, private beach access, and neighbors with last names that echo through boardrooms. But do you really want to see where the money gallops? Forget stables. Gates built horse palaces with Olympic-level arenas, 5-star grooming suites, and elite handlers on 24-hour watch. Why? Maybe he's just a fan of dressage. Or maybe power is a game best played on horseback. For the average family, a vacation means camping or visiting relatives. For Gates's horses, every day is a 5-star retreat. Most people can't take more than a week off for vacation. And when they do, it involves Airbnb, road trips, and budget hotels. Gates, he takes the ocean with him. Though he denied ownership of the futuristic Aqua superyacht, insiders report he's long invested in custom vessels, floating luxury hotels with helipads, spas, dining decks, climate-controlled lounges, and full-time crews. These aren't boats. They're palaces on water worth over $100 million. When we pack a suitcase, he sails a kingdom. College students go into debt for textbooks. Book lovers buy secondhand copies or wait for a discount. While most people save up to visit a museum, Bill Gates buys the museum pieces. In 1994, he dropped $30.8 million on the Codex Leicester, a 500-year-old notebook handwritten by Leonardo da Vinci. Not for display, not for research, for his personal vault. He also collects Winslow Homer paintings, loans art to galleries, and keeps pieces so rare that most historians only dream of seeing them, even once. But here's the thing. This isn't just appreciation for beauty, this is ownership of intellect, of legacy, of the past. So again, why are people afraid of Bill Gates? Maybe it's because he doesn't just read history, he decides who gets to access it.
The average worker earns by the hour.
Time is budgeted, borrowed, and sometimes lost in commutes or overtime. Bill Gates? Time is a statement. Most people check the time to see if they're late. Bill Gates? He wears time like a weapon. Behind closed doors, he owns some of the rarest timepieces on Earth. A Patek Philippe Grand Complication, a Royal Oak by Audemars Piguet, multiple limited edition Rolex Daytonas, some with up to $1 million each. He doesn't flaunt them. He doesn't need to. Because for Gates, time isn't just about seconds. It's about control. Control over schedules, over markets, over futures. The world used to track him. If you earned more money than you could ever spend in 10 lifetimes, would you donate it? Would you chase dreams? Or build monuments to your own legacy? Bill Gates did all three. But was it generosity? What does Bill Gates Visible design a Sigcanamark every way? Since 2000, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation has donated over $59 billion, fighting diseases like malaria, HIV, and polio. He's helped vaccinate over 1 billion children, invested $10 billion in US education, and even spent $400 million reinventing toilets. Not sexy, but life-saving. He's poured $6 billion plus into African and Asian agriculture, built sanitation systems where there were none, funded research that governments ignore. And then there's the giving pledge. Gates has promised to give away most of his fortune, leaving his kids just enough to do something, not nothing. So is this selfless or a masterclass in image control? Because behind the billions lies a deeper pattern. Gates doesn't just donate to charity. He redirects entire systems, schools, food, medicine, even toilets, toward his vision of how the world should work. No election, no oversight, just the silent power of money shaping the future. Is he saving the world or softly rewriting its code? Now here's where things get uncomfortable. Bill Gates has publicly admitted he met Jeffrey Epstein several times. Epstein, the disgraced financier, convicted sex offender, and the man at the center of one of the darkest scandals involving underage trafficking and high society's dirtiest secrets. Gates said it was all about philanthropy, that he regretted it. But let's be real, this wasn't a one-off coffee meeting. Reports say Gates met Epstein multiple times, including at Epstein's New York townhouse, even after Epstein's conviction. Why would one of the world's most powerful men meet with someone like that? Was it about donations, influence, or something we'll never fully know? And when his wife Melinda Gates filed for divorce, guess what she cited as one of her major concerns? Those Epstein meetings. Coincidence? Or the one red flag she couldn't ignore? In a world of PR-crafted statements, this stain sticks. Maybe it means nothing. Or maybe it's exactly why people are still asking, what does Bill Gates really stand for? So let's recap. Bill Gates dropped out of Harvard and built Microsoft. He became the richest man alive, then spent decades trying to reinvent himself as a savior. He's given away nearly $60 billion. Claims he'll leave his kids only a sliver of his fortune, and built a foundation that's changed public health worldwide. But he's also built tech fortresses, bought Da Vinci's notebooks, dined at 40,000 feet, met with controversial figures, and quietly owns land, data, and influence that stretches across the planet. Is it brilliance? Is it benevolence? Or is it a calculated empire where generosity is branding and control wears a smile? One thing's for sure, Bill Gates didn't just build Microsoft, he rewrote the operating system of power. So now the real question isn't just, how rich is he? It's this, why are people afraid of Bill Gates? Let us know in the comments.